Okay. This one kind of goes along with the one I did earlier, so
Ode to
you
birth
remember.
control.
This one's called Blissful Memory, and goes like this. Within the very own private eye of my mind's mind, I recall a pair of love-filled blue ones that would stare back at me through these glasses. All the while only the eraser end of her pen would trace such honest lips. What I would not give now to kiss. Instead I'd talk nonstop and wish. Little did I know then that what she so selfishly gave would I one day vividly remember and crave. Things like the nape of her neck, the small of her back, the devotion in her gaze, the giggle in her smile, the warmth of her embrace, even on the coldest of dark and lonely winter days, are just the tip of an iceberg of love. I once naively floated into, then glued myself to, and stayed with, until it sank into an ocean of blissful memory. And though the immediate aftermath seemed bleak, everlasting, and endless, after a while, it goes away all on its own. See, solitude affords forgotten treasured times where you and only you count in comparison to everything else. So, milk these moments till the tit was dry have I, and my narcissistic side isn't sad to say so, because the longer I stayed solo, the love I held for myself would only grow and grow. Until I rubbed it raw, a guiltless flaw. For a delicate balance will exist whenever two true heart lovers really kiss and give themselves each other without expecting the same from the other. This act requires such faith and love that I have found, no matter how hard I rubbed,
Oh my God.
this faithful memory of love, it will never hurt me or cause dreams to haunt me, or soak my pillow with snotty tears that lie as they fly down my cheek to make me think love was to blame. Well, the following logic will explain why it's not love's fault, but instead the rotten seed of self-pity that pleads for rain to help it grow to full control of the conscience where it was once conceived. For people armed with love possess a power so very far from conception's understanding that when it leaves their entitled side, an immoral mind seeks to blame, vengeance, and cheap-ass peripheral fame that only wants to drown the crybaby soul that watered it so. For is it not the child that's taught to cry and fit for what it wants would someday learn how others never spoil them as their lazy-ass parents did? Why then won't they relinquish such low-honor attitudes of a rotten kid? I mean, grow some logic and look at the facts and do your best to quit such acts. Open your eyes and truly see that if it wasn't meant to be, then the best for you has just begun, because tomorrow along comes a sexier someone much more fun. For it is this sultry soul that had you let your depression roll, one day more your heart would wake to find it missed its mark and paired you up with a crafty, needy, hairy, emotional shark. And maybe you stay with them, marry them, to only find his fidelity to you was eternally blind. For when it came to you, my vision was forever true. Yes, I guess I still fondly think of you, though the past would say, he didn't always wear a smile when he looked your way. Especially after you got married, bitch. I doubted love, hated it, and watched such sorrow-filled solitude change and surround me, imprison me with woe, forcing me to break free because it simply never let me go. It was only when I made peace with love and praised its power before I got to see and touch another naked flower. Then, the flocks that followed were always better than the last. Patterns formed and people posted enough to see an obvious similarity. Love simply ain't to blame. We are. We make the shit, eat the peanuts out of it, then polish it and turn it to a darker shade of brown. All the while making more that keeps the door where pain and sorrow live open. I mean, how stupid are we when we know what to stop and what to go, but some of us say no and show the hurt where to harm. Instead of being grateful to feel it all, to be sad is pretty fucking small. And selfish, and petty, and smug, and everything else a spoiled child is, minus the justification of their age. So grow up and guess how those few older people died in their sleep, with smiles on their faces, in their own house, upon their own bed. Most of us can only wish such fate should bless our ungrateful head. Lest I begin to care and give, regardless of your selfish kid, that lives within, screaming and begging to always win. For judgment of your shortcomings is not my job. So why then not just give all that judgmental shit to God? Thanks.